Capricorn, this is going to be your collective message. So if you recently made a big risk or a risky decision or a decision, this is your confirmation that you definitely made the right choice. You can always trust yourself. It won't always feel that way, but you can. And even when you're really in doubt and indecision, you always end up making the right choice. That's just something you can always count on. So you may not always be able to get rid of the anxiety or the fear of making the right choice, but I mean, you can if you work on it. But the point here is, even when it doesn't feel, even if you don't have 100% certainty, you're still gonna make the right choice. So you don't need that 100% okay. You can just trust that you're gonna always make the right choice. So, and it's because you're very thorough and you're not careless at all with anything. And that habit of being in that way, or whether it's a habit or it's in your nature, it's really serves you. It serves you, and it has served you in making decisions. So if you can back off of yourself, I'm hearing like back off, but of your own self, like stop being so doubtful and so hard on yourself, which is kind of silly because I know Capricorns tend to be very hard on themselves, so it's almost pointless asking them not to. But you can hold yourself to high standards without, like, while giving yourself a break, while still accepting that you are human and you are supposed to be, so you don't need to try and not be human. Also, I'm getting, you didn't do anything wrong or anything to hurt anyone. So maybe the decision you had to make, like for some of you, maybe you're a boss or a manager and you had to fire someone and it was really hard for you, but like if what you did affected someone else in some way, or if that was why you were uncertain about it because you were afraid of how it might affect someone else, just know you still made the right choice. And if someone's affected by it, that's not your issue to deal with. And what is your issue is dealing with the energy you feel after doing something like that. Because you don't have to deal with that person, but you have to deal with your own guilt or your own bad feelings that come up. So you can't really escape that. You're gonna have to work through that and deal with that, but you don't have to deal with other people's feelings. But you can't also escape that. It's like if you have to do what you have to do, what you know you have to do, even if some people don't like it, because that's what you know you're supposed to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But work on being okay with that, being okay disappointing someone, but it's like it wasn't ever your responsibility or your job to not disappoint them, if that makes sense. So you don't have to feel bad about that. And if you do, focus on fixing that feeling, not trying to fix the other person or how they respond to what you did. Just fix how you respond to how they respond to you. So yeah, this is just confirmation that you did the right thing, you made the right choice, and it doesn't matter if people didn't agree with you, if people didn't support you, if they told you you're making the wrong choice, it doesn't matter, because you still did you still listened to yourself above anyone else. And I just feel like this is kind of the start of this path you're on, of really learning to trust yourself, so that you don't, it's like at the end of the day, you're always gonna go with your gut, and you're always gonna trust yourself above someone else, but you won't always be at peace with that. It's like, you know, you're gonna go with, it's like maybe you ask for suggestions, but deep down, you know, you already know which one you're gonna go with. I'm almost losing what I was gonna say. Basically, you don't have to feel like you're always going to make the wrong choice, or like you're always, like, understand you're more equipped than you realize. You're overqualified. That's the word I'm looking for. And so it's like you already know what you're going to choose. It's okay to get advice from others, and it's also okay whether to do whatever you do with that advice. Like, just because you seek it out, just because someone gives it to you, it doesn't mean you have to listen to it. It's still ultimately your choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like there's this feeling of guilt or shame around choosing what you think is best rather than what other people tell you. And it's like, even though you've proven to always be right when you go with what you think, still there's this part of you that feels insecure not following other people's advice or not. But it's like, it just comes with you accept the responsibility that the choice makes. So when you let someone else make a choice for you, they get, if it goes wrong, it's like, well, they told me to do it. So it's a little bit more risky when you make your own choice and your own decision, because if it goes wrong, it's like, well, that's what I chose, so the blame or the responsibility falls on me. But it's just like, you may be looking at all of this in a little bit too serious of a perspective, and it's kind of, it's making everything harder than it has to be. So if you could focus on trusting yourself, trusting that you always have, even when it doesn't feel like it, you always have all the information you need to make the right choice. Like, whatever you have is enough. You don't always need more, and you're not always going to get that 100% certainty. Sometimes you have to take a risk, but you're definitely someone who can take risks in life because you take calculated risks. And even when there's no way to tell, there's just still something in you that's like, you're set to always win. And if you don't get in your own way, it's like that's your default setting, is to always win. So with that knowledge, anything that can trip you up is just other people's opinions, and you allowing that to have too much power and influence in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.